All right, this is basic probability. So this might actually be the first hard question for some of you because you just don't use probability very often in school. But the basics are that we're always going to make a fraction. Even if the probabilities are listed as decimals or percentages, start with a fraction. And the most problematic number of the fraction is the denominator. So that's going to be the total possible outcomes. And then on the top is the outcomes that we want. Okay, so I tend to start with the bottom number because on harder questions, that is where the confusion happens. That is where they're trying to trick you. This is still an easy question, so it's not so bad, right? On a street with 7 houses, 2 houses are blue. If a house from the street is selected at random, what is the probability of selecting a house that is blue? So even without thinking about it, you're probably going to put 7 on the bottom here because that's the total number of houses, and that is correct. But I want to be clear why. It's because of what they say. They're purposely giving us the instruction to use all houses from this street, and then we're selecting one at random. There might be more complicated questions where there's different kinds of houses and we only want certain kinds, especially if there's a chart. If they give you a probability question with a chart, odds are good that that bottom number is going to be harder to find, but that's usually the biggest trick or trap in the question. For the other part, we still could potentially have a trap, but in this case, it's not so bad. What is the probability of selecting a house that is blue? So in this case, we want total houses is our bottom, and then blue houses is our top. And so how many blue houses are there? 2 houses are blue, so 2/7 is the answer, choice B. But I do want to note, right, like in a way, maybe choice C is a trap, or more often, what could happen is they will ask the question in a way that choice B would have been the trap and choice C would have been the answer, right? Because notice 2/7 and 5/7 together, that's 7/7. That's the total number of all possible outcomes. So the reason that might matter is if they change the question. If instead they say, what is the probability of selecting a house that is not blue? Right? If they change that one word, they added the word not, and they might underline it, they might put it in capital letters, they might not do anything to it. So you never know. But if they change that one word, our answer changes completely because now the information that they gave us is the opposite of what we want, right? They told us the blue houses, but they might be asking for the houses that are not blue. And this is really simple because in probability, the total probability is always 1. So if we have the probability of something happening, the probability of that thing not happening, those two things added together are always going to give you 1, or in this case, 7/7. So again, easy question, no real twists at all, but I love using these easy questions as opportunities to talk about what could go wrong. Because the worst thing is if you get complacent and you think, oh, I know probability, this is so easy, then they're going to do these little switches and you're not going to be prepared. So hopefully if you are watching this video, you have learned something about future questions that might try to trick you.